Pick up for Edwards?
Sorry, your online order isn't ready yet.
Why?
Our internet slows down at this time of day.
Whoops. Hello, everybody. I know the screen is black right now. I just did something stupid today. I'll be right back. I just closed the whole thing, you guys. What the heck? I spent like 10 minutes setting this up and now it's all gone. So give me 1 minute. You know what? I'm just gonna be winging it since I'm already live, but just give it 1 more, maybe 2 more minutes. That's stupid. Okay, let me play a couple songs here. Oh my goodness. The beauty of live shows, you guys. Okay, let's see which one let's play this one.
Show us the fucking money. It's time to lay it on me. Cause what's mine is ours. This shit belongs to the army. Gon' need to see them Benjis. We hungry for them tendies. Give us this day our daily bread. Show us the fucking money.
This ain't financial advice, just a little DD to help you think twice. We hold for each other, eyes on the prize. The new floor's 200,000 times 5. I joke, I kid, no, I don't know a damn thing. I'm as simple as Bubba trying to sell some damn shrimp. Can't spell IQ, can't even count to 10. And I eat crayons every day with my friends. I think about Kenny in his ivory tower, shaking in his lily boots as the apes overpower. Must suck to lose to monkeys, so dumb. But you made your bed and you got nowhere to run. I'd love to be a fly on the wall when he makes the prize fall. And he watching as we keep on more. You forgot we on the float, blind 2 hours old. Lie, lie, stop breaking the law, asshole.
Show us the fucking money. It's time to lay it on me. Cause what's mine is ours. This shit belongs to the
full of a smooth brain, stupid ass. Throwing all my money at the streets like a quarterback. FUD don't mean a thing, water up a duck's back. Apes not leaving nothing till we get the money stacks. Monkey see, monkey do, monkey holding to it blue. Monkey magic coming through, through us monkeys on the moon. Double digit IQ, Tendy loving bamboo. Right here we got more smoothies than a jumbo juice. Probably thought you coulda made us sell all the gooder. In hell we maybe woulda, but we more than the Buddha. The floor, 6 figures, ain't selling for less. You took on the ape nation and you're fucking with the best. We hold for each other, my sisters and my brothers, the fighters and the lovers. We don't need another fan because we huddle through hard times and struggle, cause we just a couple of diamonds in the rough.
Show us the fucking money. It's time to lay it on me. Cause what's mine is ours. This shit belongs to the ape army. Gon' need to see them Benjis. We hungry for them tendies. Give us this day.
Hey, this is not financial advice. Remember, oh wait, when you made the housing market crash, the planet of the apes, and we just want our parents' money back. We can see it in your face that you ain't think we would remember that. Ring, 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 Kenny, boy, you better answer that. Someone call Kenny, ask the head you where my money at. Million to delivers coming due, but you can't get them back. When margin gets a call and shit, Adele, you better answer that. Green boom boom candles to the moon and we ain't coming back. Huddle AMC, Tilly share is worth 100 racks. Huddle GME, Tilly share is worth double that. I'm a diamond-handed ape, someone show me where the shuttle at. Green boom boom candles to the moon and we ain't coming back. I'm a smooth-brained ape, but not as smooth as where I purchased at. My average so low, it's like I don't know what I'm swinging at. Hey, old man, how many times do we gotta teach you that we make dumb amounts of money, so we don't mind it when you call us that? It's ironic that they talk fundamentals while their pockets bleed just to fundamentals. No bots, no shills, no FUD accepted when you address the apes and a different message. Cause our favorite breakfast is a tasty dip. Every red candle always leaves a wick that consolidates for just a little bit. We draw rocket ships and watch it rip. We came up out the jungle, we ain't scared to be broke. We're just a bunch of dumb gorillas. Why you mad at us, bro? Because we made your game stop, and now we're the stars of the show. We take aim, see the moon, that's where the apes wanna go. I said, someone call Kenny, ask the head you where my money at. Million to delivers coming due, but you can't get them back. When margin gets a call and shit, Adele, you better answer that. Green boom boom candles to the moon and we ain't coming back. Huddle AMC, Tilly share is worth 100 racks. Huddle GME, Tilly share is worth double that. I'm a diamond-handed ape, someone show me where the shuttle at. Green boom boom candles to the moon and we ain't coming back. Coming back. There it is! There it is! There it is!
Sorry about that, you guys. Goodness gracious. All right, so how's everybody doing? Welcome to the show. Let me. Oh my goodness. All right, let there be light. Okay, okay. I think I'm doing pretty good there. All right. So, all right. That was such a shaky moment. What the heck was happening? Hi, Jesus. What's up, Ricky? Welcome back. So it's gonna be a long morning today. You know, it's 7:30 over here. We're close to 8. Got my coffee, got my water. So yeah, I don't know how long I'm gonna be here for. But I have not been on for quite some time. So yeah, I thought I would be like, okay, let me just do 3 hours. How about that, huh? 3 days, 3 hours. I think that's fair. So let's set for 3 hours for now. Okay, so let's get to it. Of course, what's happening? A couple of days ago, we could see there's some candle over here. Of course, you know, we all knows what that news was all about. There has been a speculation. Okay, let me take this off first. that Jimmy is going to buy Bitcoin. Obviously, we knew that a couple of days before that, because of Brian Cohen posting the picture with, the MicroStrategy CEO. And so, it's not far-fetched that perhaps that's probably is happening. I mean, my speculation is that perhaps, he didn't pull the trigger over here, but he did indeed pull the trigger over here in terms of the background. Maybe somebody knows something. Again, speculation, right? Or it could just be because they want to close out their position. I mean, look at this. Again, this is why it's so scammy, you guys, because this thing, all day, it has been just muted. All buy orders that we see is always routed to the dark market, right? Or the dark pool. Every sell order hits the lit exchange every time. And so again, we know that that's what they've been doing because again, people are tracking this. Like if you go on X and all that stuff, people have an eye to see. It's nothing new here. We've experienced this so many times. But for people who are, just not aware and not following through with the structure and everything, they don't necessarily see that. And so they need some sort of catalyst to make you feel like, oh, this is happening right now, right? And so that could also be the reason why it went up like that. But again, also too, the reason why it went up like this after market is because they don't want you to participate in the call option. So had you buy call option over here, and this is why it's such a unfair system, for retail. My call would have been so much more expensive because I bought some. Thank goodness, I did close at a profit. But immediately I knew that they're gonna try to smack it down. So I sold my call about $100 more than I bought it for. So again, I'm happy with that, right? Because that's a contract. Like if I hold until the end of the day, my contract would have been so much less, right? And this is very predatory, you guys. Like this is not normal. Every market structure, every stock doesn't flow like this. Now, my point is like if they could keep the price down, right? They could keep the price elevated on other stock that they want you to buy into. And so, normally you would have be able to buy those stock at a cheaper price, but because they have been elevating those price so high, you end up overpaying for those stock as well until, they're ready to drop it down. Then, you're going to lose massively. And, free market should not be this way whatsoever. And we all know this, like in GME, as an investor, when you are investing in this type of company, you know what is happening, right? And people are like, well, if you think that the stock is rigged, why would you be in it? Well, duh. If it's rigged in your favor, you wouldn't want to take advantage of that. In my opinion, it's rigged in your favor. Favor for who? Long-term investor. Because the price is suppressed. At some point, it's not going to be able to be suppressed anymore. The dam will be broken. And so again, how long do you have to wait? And the longer you have, the better. And so, it might end up be a lifetime. Who knows, right? But again, long-term investor will always win towards the end because then the fundamental would be undeniable, over time. So the market structure, the way that they're trading this it's not fair for retail investor retail traders. Okay, if you want to be a trader in this stock, you're gonna be so frustrated because you're not gonna be able to, even the option traders, right, won't be able to move it. I mean, unless you have billions and hundreds of millions of dollars to buy into call option like Keith Gill. you wouldn't be able to do it. And that's the sad part. But again, I mean, the good news is that all you have to do is just a long-term investor. Be a long-term investor. That's it. I mean, the easiest thing in the world, right? Buy whenever you can. And, you know, and the easiest way is to follow Ryan Cohen, right? To get into this stock for the right reason, which is the fundamental, the leadership, the future growth of the company, period. That's it. It's that easy, I'm telling you. But again, like if you want to have fun trying to time the market and all that stuff, then have some fun. But don't hang your whole future based on that, right? Because it may not happen for you. See what I mean? Is it rare? I think so. I feel like, you know, for you to be able to make millions of dollars just buying a few calls here and there, it's not happening, right? Because they've been kind of using the algorithm to suppress the price down. Because the normal price action doesn't happen here in this company, right? I mean, unless you are an insider, like one of those politicians, right? Like Nancy Pelosi, for example, then yeah, of course, you're probably like, okay, today is the day in which you're going to turn on, you know, the liquidity pool and then just let it rip, right? And so, in which case, yes, if you know ahead of time, you buy tons of calls and then boom, you know that that's what's happening. Yeah. But anyway, so that was just me speculating on what happened in that. Okay, so let's get to the price action here. You see how like the stupid gap that makes no damn sense over here? So this is like trading like a penny stock, even though it's like a multi-billion dollars company here. It's like a penny stock over here. But, you know, there's no liquidity. I mean, there's no one has been kind of selling this at all, right? Okay, so this is the indicator that I've been using. So it seems like, you know, a lot of buys signal over here. Obviously, that's probably the first impulse and then the second impulse, right? You know, whatever the terminology you want to use as is, go ahead. Now, is it possible that it's going to feel this or just rip to the other side? Who knows? Who knows? But anytime there's gaps like this, I always expected the down, you know, go down to feel the gap, and perhaps it's going to do the W thing, right? Yep. Again, don't trade based on, you know, my TA. I'm not a TA person. Just doing this for fun, okay? Now, let's see. I mean, just keep it simple, right? My point is like, look, that's support. Like, okay, it could come back down here, possibly. But it looks like if you look at the historical price action here, this might be the support right there. Hard support, hard floor. Okay. So if it comes back down to bounce on that one, I mean, you know, it happened quite often in GME history where you have this double bottom, and then this one is a little bit exaggerated, you know, double bottom over here, double bottom over here. See, 2, 1, 2. So, and then even here 2, 1, 2. Maybe sometime like that before they rip it back up again. So again, you know, if you buy calls and all that stuff, currently I don't have any more calls. I sold a lot, most of them that I have, all of them that I have, most of them. All of them that I have now, I'm waiting for that dip. And I really think, you know, they're gonna try to run it up before earnings, so that when earnings happening, whatever negative new quote unquote is on that paper, on that earnings, they could find the excuse to be like dropping it, just like how it was over here. This earnings over here was a good earnings. For some reason, they just drop it, gap down, and then boom, boom, boom. You all know that, right? Why was it a good earning when it was red? Well, look at it. We earned 22 cents per share. Okay? Look. And then they gave the excuse, well, it's 12% down from expectation. 20% down from expectation for earnings per share. Crazy. No. I disagree with that. But it's okay. Whatever. The expectation is way too high for GME, but for some reason, other company that only beats 1%, like anytime it beats, they just like ripped up the other way, Hi, because I can. What's up? How are you doing today? Good morning. Anyway, so the price action, again, nothing to be afraid of, okay? Long-term investor, you gotta have some thick skin over here, But especially, these times is a crazy time. Now, let's move on to the meat and potatoes of this live stream. I don't know how many people are aware of this. Doge and all that stuff, kind of shaking up Washington over here, this politician. Right? We all know that there's a lot of corruption that's happening, but nobody ever do anything about it, right? Now we have an administration that is, gung-ho on at least looking into the corruptions and trying to find out where those money goes. The USAID things is crazy. I've been following that and finding out a whole bunch of BS, spending. And the scary part is that, it's used on us, citizen, to weaponize and to increase their own power so that they could, control over all of our lives. All the while, having us paying tax to the tilt. On top of that, inflation. On top of that, predatory, trading system. Perhaps this is the mechanism that they're able to, have unlimited amount of money, seemingly, right? And unlimited amount of codes and loopholes and, wait times so that they could have time to react and then, load it off their liability to somebody else. Unexpected investor who, thought that they have some, value in their portfolio and then come to find out there's nothing there, right? So it's crazy, right? But anyway, I'm just like going through all of that in my head. I'm like, dang, are we living in a simulation right now? Is anything real at all that we're just touching? Am I real? But anyway, so with Doge digging into SEC or even FINRA in general, right? It's going to open up a lot of Pandora's box here, right? Unintended consequences of that is going to be felt throughout the stock market. Okay, if that ever happened, remember, when naked shorting and all that stuff trying to come to light 13 years ago, there are people talking about it. This is going to be, a shock to the system. Not quite sure how to fix it, honestly. Perhaps this is where blockchain comes in to try to unravel some of that BS, right? But that's going to take time. I don't think it's going to happen, just, within a week or 2 weeks and all that stuff. This is a decade on, untangle here. So, or just a wrecking ball, right? Just demolish everything and then just start from scratch. that could also happen too. But when that happens, though, my fear is that my portfolio might just decimate it, right? Because they have so much rights. So nobody wants that. I don't think, this administration want that either, because that's going to look bad for him in the stock market. So I don't know. Again, if this is only just a few actors, like just a few handful of hedge funds, I think, that's probably doable. But if this is more, it's bigger than just a few handful of hedge funds here that are going bust. I know that the whole system might just come crashing. Funneling money into entity that are not like what is it? Offshore island? No, Cayman Island. Yeah. That's probably the mechanism that these, short seller are doing, or hiding it somewhere overseas, certain portfolio and all that stuff to try to mitigate their risk that way. But it seems so complicated, and so this particular thing, I don't know how it's going to play out, But am I excited? Of course. Like, I feel like, this has been around for so long and nobody's doing anything about it. And if Doge were to take a look at, naked shorting, and famously Tesla, Elon Musk talked about how Tesla was being shorted to oblivion publicly, and saying that the SEC didn't do anything to stop it, even though they have the ability to do that. So it's not far-fetched that Doge is going to take a look at naked shorting eventually. Of course, I don't know if it's happening, right now or anything like that. But seemingly, Maxine Waters wrote a panic letter, quote unquote, to the SEC, and to see, dang, that's crazy. So perhaps they're trying to hide something or have something to hide. If there's nothing to be, looked into, if there's no corruption there, why so scared, And we've been told so many times that the market is fair. This is how the market should be. This is the free market capitalism. Really? Is it free? Well, let's show the world if it's free or not. Or it's just scammy, right? That the people who have the ability to suppress the price, they are suppressing it because of their own, because if they don't, because they've been shorting it like crazy, it would come to light that they don't have the amount of shares that they've been shorting to the public. Okay, so it's vindicating, if that's what come to light, that GME investor has been kind of being a victim of. So all of us are a victim here. Like, even the people that are believing in the narrative that the market is free. Okay, because anytime you buy into something that they want you to buy, it's always overpriced. Always. And anyone they don't want you to have, it's always underpriced. Anything that is valuable, that you think it's going to be valuable in the near future, or, 5 years from now, namely GME, I think it's going to be the biggest company to compete with eventually. Because again, when you have this type of leadership, you do not want to ignore that. That's simply what I'm trying to say here. I'm not saying Ryan Cohen is a god here or anything like that, or just some cult leader that you worship. No, nothing at all. Just simply saying he's conservative. He knows what he's doing. He's good at what he's doing. He's passionate about what he's doing, and he has his own plan. He has his own judgment based on the business sense that he had, or experience that he has operating, a multi-billion dollars company, or a small company and then bring it up to the multi-billion dollars status, and then sold it for billions of dollars, Chewy, and then now come to GameStop. My brain just stopped working for a minute. Coming to GameStop, and now learning how to scale. And really, this is how he's evolved into a much better, effective CEO, chairman, or whatever, right? And again, this is the evolution of people growing, into their own self. And, you're lucky to find, GameStop at this price. I always feel that way. For me, I'm lucky, really. And so I think people are just short-sighted. You don't see anything that is happening yesterday, and so they're like, oh, why is it not happening now? So just be patient. That's it. And see how it's gonna work out. And with this thing, just let the truth unfold, and then people are going to be trust the U.S. government more. And I think this administration has been kind of at least instill a little bit of trust and hope for the future, a little bit here to at least clean up, the street a little bit here. Wall Street is just like any other street, right? There's mug, everywhere you get mugged more often than not. So let's just clean that up so that, people who want to participate in the free market in the world could do that, really, truly, and honestly. And if you bet on something and, you lose the bet, then you lose the money, right? And if you're so sophisticated at predicting the price, then there shouldn't be any reason for you not to feel like, okay, you lost the game, so now pay up. Currently, they don't want to pay up because they don't want to lose their pie, right? Because they've been working hard for decades to have that pie, and so I think that's the battle that we're battling over here. Is that just a handful of billionaires out there who have their portfolio tied into the GameStop shorts. My concern is that they're gonna, kind of offset that to some pension funds and, sovereign wealth fund of other country who are unsuspected. In that, you've seen about Swiss Bank or whatever, right? Gone under UBS. Was that the one? I forgot the, successor of that Archegos case. And so, that risk is still out there somewhere, you guys. So if these people are able to just packaging those risks and shift it to somebody else, eventually it's going to come back to you and I. Not you and I, but like people who are, teacher pension funds of some states that are, unsuspectedly. And these are fraudulent, you guys. Like if these things come to light, then we'll know where to look, And I'm all for like doing that audit. The federal government should be audited for a long time, especially the people that are directly benefited from the system being so dark, being so, dirty all the time. And no wonder, people are just not either aware or they're just being pacified. It's like, oh, stuff like that happens, but not that often. It's like BS, right? So, the point that I'm trying to make is that, this is good per se, if it happens. And then, and also too, those assets needs to come back. If they have the ability to claw it back, oh man, that'd be great. I think that's why he created a sovereign wealth fund, the Trump administration. So I don't know. It's a very exciting time for, people everywhere. And I think, it's going to make the world safer, right? Without money, these people might not be able to do what they do. But all of us has to be aware too. Like, fight for your own freedom, and or at least, don't believe in the bull crap that you hear half of the time. Go straight to the source. If you hear about this press release and all that stuff, like, make sure it's actually truly reported on the official site, all of that, right? Now this gentleman has been, updating on GME. Of course, he's an investor as well. And oftentimes, you would see a lot of stuff like this where, it was, sell order has no trouble hitting a lit market, but the buy order, on the other hand, are conveniently routed to the dark pool, right? So whether that's crime or not, right? That's for the I guess Doge to decide, right? We all know that that's not a way that the market should be working. Again, because perhaps here's what I'm thinking, right? When they do stuff like that, it's because they have this what is it? Let me chart exchange. Yes, that's the one. Because we have this unusual call option betting on the other side, right? Most of the time, when you look at the chain for Gamestop, it's skewed to the call side. And so, of course, market maker is incentivized not to go higher and higher the ring market hours. You know why? Because if it's close above a certain, max pain or whatever, had it's close above max pain, like $5 more, what happened? They would be in trouble because those calls that they are selling to you right here are naked. My assumption, please. My speculation, but that's the only reason why I think. Why? Like, these calls are naked. Nobody actually have that many shares to sell, because the majority of us are holding on to our share. Majority. You've seen it on the volume all the time, Yesterday was 12 million shares. But 12 million shares of how many percentage of the float is that? Very low. Less than 10% of a float being traded every single day. I mean, some days it's like 2 million shares. So where do you think they have these shares, for calls? Zero. Right? And so, again, that's why the incentivization, is that even a word? They have the incentive to keep it down over here. And on top of that, they have the ability to price those calls too. No wonder it's so expensive, right? So if you want to bet it up, you have to have deep pockets over here, paying more per contract. And the only people that has hundreds of contracts are the institutions out there. Now, eventually, they're gonna have to send it up in some shape or form, right? And so I really think that they're not trying to blow everything up. It's just that, slowly but methodically, multi-year type of thing to solve this problem. But they have to do it, illegally, right? I guess you could say that's strategy on their part. But still, though, that's not fair for retail investor out there, because that's not how the market should work. And, if you don't have the integrity, if you don't maintain the integrity of the market, then people, everyone is losing here, including the pension funds, the 401ks, the people that are, trying to, better their future by investing in companies, right? And that's also detrimental for the company too, that are trying to go to the public to raise funds. And if the stock price is not reflected on, the true supply and demand, then what's the point? No wonder most of the company that are starting cannot survive, because, if they need the money from the public, their shares would be just so suppressed because somebody is front running that. It's like, oh, okay. If you want to sell share, let me just drop it down so low that the value of your shares is the amount of money that you're going to raise is less than what you should have had. And the people that are able to do that, pocketing the difference, no wonder, So that's that's robbery, in my opinion. Hi, Michael. What's up? Thank you for joining. Clean up Wall Street. Exactly. Common investor are robbed, mugged, and raped. Okay. That's true. It's so frustrating, but now that we have, a new administration who, I'm all for, right? Because I know, like, Democrats are just, going crazy right now, lying to you about how, Elon Musk has personal informations and all that stuff. Like, well, where were you when Edward Snowden, did they show this type of outrage when Edward Snowden exposed that, U.S. government has been listening to us through the phone, and it's still, I'm sure that's still happening right now. But again, that, what is it called? Pegasus, like the program. And so stuff like that happens, but then the Democrats, who the defender of democracy, right? They're not there. Like, in fact, zip, nobody talked about it. And then Edward Snowden is still out there in Russia somewhere talking about it, I don't know if you guys have heard about Edward Snowden, but, politically, obviously, that is not looking good for the Democrats to be so hypocritical. But I really think that, they are implicated in this. Obviously, they are the sole beneficiary to those type of corruption, obviously. I'm not saying just the Democrats here, obviously. Republican did it just the same way. And so it's a matter of degrees, right? Insider tradings and all that stuff still rampant, and the SEC doesn't do shit about it. Nobody's being investigated, nobody has been, using the law, to at least go after these people, or, stop them from doing it so blatantly. I have no idea how people are just so blind to this. Like, and it's through the fault of ourselves too, because I don't think anybody care. They have been kind of indoctrinated us to say that, oh, this is normal, something like that happen all the time. No, it shouldn't be normalized. That's what I'm trying to say. And so if you normalize it, even the billionaire is not going to be able to survive. And, you spend most of your life to try to attain that particular, title, a billionaire. If you even a millionaire, most of people cannot even attain that. And so if you have this type of, people who are not even able to be free. Now, I listened to, let's switch gear real quick. I know, I'm just like talking about politics today. But I think it's important, People need to know this. And as GME shareholder, right, we run the risk of people just thinking that we're just a conspiracy theorist. We have nothing but hope, right? This stock is not going to do anything. Ryan Cohen is terrible. Look, he doesn't do anything but cut, right? And again, the discussion is always, well, he closing store again, right? I'm sure that's going to be played out. And most of the people that don't know anything about the progress of the company, they would just listen to this news outlet, right? And so oftentimes I just feel like it's tough to even get people to understand it from the fundamental level. And so because it's so, poisoned by all the media blitz and all that stuff. But for me, this is an opportunity, right? Because you know what GME is from the fundamental level. And you know what price are you willing to pay that you think it's going to be the bottom. In my opinion, this is just the beginning, right? It's better than IPO stage, you guys. Think about it. If GME were to IPO right now with the balance sheet that they have today, how much would it be sold to you? You think the bank would sell it to you at $25 a share or $27 a share? Good luck. They probably sell it to you at $40 a share, $50 a share. Yeah, go look at every IPO out there that just have, like today or whatever, the newest IPO, and look at their balance sheets. See how much it's being sold to you. And so, yeah, that's my reference there, when I evaluate companies like this. And for people to say that this is overvalued, it's not worth this much, it's only $10. It's like bullshit. No. Like, really? You think I'm 5? I can't do pluses and minuses? Right? I know, evaluating company, it's more than plus and minuses. I get it. Because it's like, overall economy, the overall industry that the company is in. So you got to look at that, and the leaderships, right? So even that too, it's like if you just look at the balance sheets, GME is worth more than it is today. Okay, not even including Ryan Cohen, not even including, the economy. Everybody is struggling right now while we're making money. Yes, a little bit of money, but we're making money. We're not burning cash like crazy like we used to, right? We're at the point where we're able to just ready to soar and fly. We were in a cocoon for 3 years. Okay. Now we're just like taking form. Okay. Maybe in a warm, what is it? The butterfly thing, right? So we're still, in a stage in which we are able to fly now. While everybody else is just struggling. Even the big techs out there are laying off people. Have you seen that? All around you? No? Now they're scrambling, cutting down their workforces. Nobody say anything. Chevron just lay off a few, or thinking about saving $3 billion by laying off people. Like nobody ups in arms about that? No? But GME cutting a few more stores just to, make our balance sheets even healthier. That's a problem. You know what? We did that like 3 years ago. Okay, we did it the right way. We grow the right way. Okay, we deflate ourselves the right way so that we have the ability to be profitable, to thrive when people are dying. Okay. Every retail apocalypse is happening, right? The sentiment is very low on retail company. Think about that. And so, yes, the price might come down because of that sentiment too. Because the rest of the world is saying, nah, I'm not touching retail right now. Okay. All right. It's okay. So blanketly, they're doing that. Overgeneralization. Okay. And so that's your opportunity there too. Because eventually people are going to agree with you. When GME is going, to show a lot of profit, quarter after quarter. Look, this March might not be the catalyst. Might not. You know why? Because, again, people are going to be, really? They still have that, what is it, cognitive dissonance. Like, what? GME, make money? That has to be a lie, right? Because they don't look at the balance sheet themselves. They don't know how to. And so they're going to just ignore it. The majority of people are going to be like that. But just rest assured, when you invest in this company like this, give the market time to react to it. And sometimes the markets react so like they don't have a good reflex. And so it might take a couple more earnings to prove to these people. It's like, okay, so now they have full fiscal year of pluses. Okay, let me wait another year. That could happen as well. These institutions are slow moving, you guys. And so that's why you have the opportunity to come in before the institution change their mind. You know why I know that? Well, Palantir, look at Palantir. How many years does Palantir has to trade, in the fives? A lot, a long year, right? And then Palantir has to prove that, hey, now we have more revenue. Now we have more ways of making more money. Now we have, contracts here and there from the government, from the businesses, right? But it's not until, a couple more earnings, then they're like, oh, okay, now is the time, right? And then that's when you see that hockey stick thing. So GME is still early, so just expect that. I'm not saying it's not going to happen March, but it could happen the other way too, just so that, they have time to react to it as well. Who is they? Short seller or whatever, people who have vested interest in keeping the price lower. And so in either way, you guys, I really feel that you can't lose. How can you lose? I mean, I have to be careful, right? When I say it's a guarantee. It's a guaranteed profit over here. No, nothing is guaranteed, obviously. So if you have, World War III tomorrow, obviously, that could also on the table. But, let's knock on wood. It's not going to happen. And then we'll see. But as far as like if we have a peaceful world and the world is going as it intended to, people just, are free to invest in any company that they have. And the market structure is a lot freer so that these people are not going to be able to use a certain algorithm to keep the price down for their own benefit. And then, you get a competition going again. It's like that's the heart and soul of a capitalism society, is that you compete with other people to bring the best products to people to be used, so that if you have good product, obviously people are going to flock into buying your product. So that's what you're going to get rich out of, the companies that you are investing in. And so we need to bring that spirit back to Wall Street, because currently, if you have a well-connected, people that knows the inside information, then you get rich. No wonder. Look at the society at large. Do you have anything that you're proud of anymore? I remember Apple coming out, the first iPhone. Woo! That was innovation right there. Right? Now everything is just the same. Like this, look at the iPhone right now, the evolution of iPhone. Anyone excited about having the next iPhone? Nah. Like in what, 20 years it hasn't done anything? Oh man, now you can have 2 more camera. It's like, how many cameras do you need? Like, I know, iPhone has the best picture, somebody I know said that. But the point is, it's just like small incremental change, but then they charge you thousands of dollars for that bullshit innovation. So my point is, you need a freer market in order to foster that competition again into the market. And so I think, GME has the best person, has the best leadership to be able to compete in those arena, okay, and fair and square, without even any leverage on debt, nothing like that. And so people like that needs to be elevated, and I think this type of CEO is going to be the winner in the next 10 years, 20 years, and all that stuff. So And the CEOs that are just sitting there doing nothing and just like, overpromise but underdeliver all the time. No longer, you cannot just say, oh, I'm going to do this. And then when it doesn't happen, it's like, well, just kidding, right? So typically you would be punished for that. I mean, Chevron announced that they're going to cut their workforce by 15%. And the stock was doing nothing. It was just like, 1% down. That day. Imagine if GME were to announce that, like, GME's cutting their workforce by 15%. Stock's gonna gap down like crazy, right? So that's the point that I'm trying to tell you. But anyway, I'm just babbling. Hopefully you guys still here. But let's see what else. I don't have a note. I should have notes, you guys. Goodness. Okay, so let's look at the option chain real quick. So, all right, so let's switch gear a little bit. I know it's politics as usual. It's very complicated. Everything is muddled. But anyway, so look at this. Max Payne just magically at $26, right? So we're closing like $1 below that. But let me hold on. Goodness. Let me come back to that. Oops. I want to show you this predatory way of like bust out or whatever they call it, The last minute, you guys, look at this. Last minute, right? Really? You save until the last minute to bring it down below this price right here, and somebody push it back to 727, right? And so again, this is all option, and market maker. Market here has nothing to do with the fundamental of the company. Whatever the company is doing really doesn't affect it in the short term. And that's what they want you to think, that news-based rally and all that stuff is going to give you that short-term burst, right? When it all depends on this right here. Max Payne is a real thing, you guys. It's not a theory. You could, again, from now on, you could track, like, how often does it close below or at Max Payne, or somewhere around there, right? Within a dollar or so. A lot. So knowing that, obviously, I'm not going to advocate you guys to do calls or anything, covered call or whatever, because like perhaps that's what they want you to do. Because if there are enough people writing covered call, they're going to just snatch that one day, one fell swoop. They're just going to, let it rip so that your call would be in the money. And in which case your share is going to be recalled away. Now, I do it, yes, but on my trading account, not on my Moonback. My Moonback is untouched. I have 30 years to hold on to that one. Yes, I'm going to add more as time goes on, but I have a certain only limitation on that one because it's Roth IRA. I can't touch it anyway. So I have, only the ability to increase by $7,000 a year, right? If I max it out, obviously. Some years I couldn't max it out because I don't make that much money. I need money to survive. Now, what I wanted to do is based on my trading account, if I could achieve, to that, like maxing out my Roth IRA in that year through my trading account, then I would do it that way too. So, but I always try to max it out every year if I can. So yeah, that's my long term. So to explain to you is that, that share will not be touched no matter what. Until the S&P 500, until GME is the mainstream now, like everybody's talking about how great GME is, right? Then you're gonna be able to sell it that way. But yeah, I mean, it could be 10 years from now, you guys. 10 years from now, the news gonna be everyone, GME, do it again. GME, make this again. You know, it's like, again, promoting, right? Because right now, they bought into it. Right now, the institutions are owning most of GameStop. So until they accumulate a lot more, they're not going to be able to, they're not going to bring anyone who's bullish or giving you any sentiment, you know, to try to cause people to be like, oh yeah, let's just wait. You have time to wait. It's like, yeah, don't buy into Jimmy. No, it's not worth anything. Don't look into it. Nothing to look at here. Right? I've heard that. I've heard that on the actual financial news. You know, there was some lady who was like, well, so you're telling me that if you don't sell it right now you're not going to get your money back. At the time, GME was trading at $17 a share, you guys. And she's telling you, well, you know, so you're telling me you should sell now, right? So, because she has somebody she talked to. I need to find that one, but I think I did the video on that too. So the point is that they're trying to mislead you. That's it, okay? And yes, right now, at the moment, GME is traded. The price action is according to this right here. Depends on how many people are betting up and down, right? And I think this is where Keith Gill is so skillful at doing, right? And yes, you have to understand the, you know, like these type of things, like the hedging, the gamma hedgings and all that stuff that, you know, the market makers are doing. And you have to understand how the market maker think. And, you know, the opportunity lays here, right? Where, okay, how many people are betting that GME is going to $30 this week? Look, 20,000 calls. So my prediction is that it's going to close below 30 next week. Okay, so lots of 100,000. What is this one? See, every single week, seemingly people are betting on those, you know, out of the money. A lot of contract there expire out of the money, and next week the same thing. So my point is they're incentivized to keep it at this price because they want these call out of the money, okay? And so yeah, people are still gonna bet every week. People are gonna bet. Next week's gonna be betting the same until they run out of money, right? So that's why calls is so it's so bad short term anyway, right? Until the long-term one, yes, long-term one, like leap calls and all that stuff, I think that's probably a better option. But yeah, leaps has its own risk as well. So be aware of that because it could be very expensive. You know, one call right now, if you were to buy it, January of next year, see, $800, just the short-term one. So that's expensive. The other leap would be 2 years from now. You have to pay $1,000 for this cost right here. If you want to buy the $800 one, it's $40 strike price. So what retail has that amount of money to buy in one contract? So again, the price is being priced by the market maker too. So that, you know, retail would be priced out unless you have hundreds of millions of dollars to gamble, quote unquote. You're not going to be able to move the market in that way, where it used to be, right? And so that's why you see a lot of shenanigans that happens, after market, and usually the move happens after market, you guys. So unless the Wall Street being cleaned up, you're not going to see any amount of fairness coming to this stock right here. But again, to me, that's an opportunity, because okay, if you want to suppress the price artificially, that means every time I buy, I'm buying at a discount because the demand is that high, So okay, let's play that game. Let's play a long game, and we'll see who wins in the end. All right. Okay, so let's switch gear a little bit here. Okay, so is it official? Yes, it's official. XRP is no longer a security. Legal clarity now. There's been a filing from the SEC. Yep. Yeah. Legal clarity. So what does that mean for XRP? This is huge, you guys. This is what Brad Garlinghouse, CEOs, people who hold XRP, who believe in the future longevity of this particular technology, has been right the whole time, has been fighting for, at least a fair, a level playing field here. They're not trying to fight for like a special treatment of some sort, but again, because the SEC is so corrupt still. I mean, we have a lot of favoritism towards a certain, group of people here. And Bill Tinman was the one that came out, years ago, saying that Bitcoin and Ethereum was not security. Bitcoin and Ethereum. For some reason, they give a green light to those two. And that's why Ethereum was able to, experience a massive growth from that on point forward. And so why are they picking and choosing to have Ethereum as a security, not a security, as a commodity, but then left XRP alone, And again, like if you look into the back history of XRP, is it over? Well, it seems like it is. Like if you look at the post here. Yeah, go read it for yourself. But it seems like it final, whether it's a settlement or anything like that, it's law now, right? Because, but anyways, let me go back to the history of XRP here. XRP was created before Ethereum. Vitalik was actually was kind of in the early development of XRP too, or trying to get XRP leadership to do smart contract. But at the time, XRP leadership was just focusing on the transactability of the chain. And so that's why they were just focusing on simple things, what Bitcoin is doing, which is transaction, and make it decentralized, make it robust, make it so that it could, eventually get into the point where it could scale, because again, earlier XRP founder also saw the problem of what Bitcoin couldn't do. Okay, if Bitcoin were to be the currency of the world, it has to handle a lot more transaction per second, and so that's where the XRP was built to do, was to facilitate that, right? Facilitate that fast transaction. And you could send Bitcoin on the XRP ledger to, whoever. But again, you could, later on, it evolves into, remittances, and also, like, it's useful for other stuff too. It's not just that. But if you could transfer value of Bitcoin over the XRP ledger, you could transfer anything of value over the XRP ledger. So when you think about like the whole world, right? It's all about transaction, you guys. We transact every single minute. The whole world do this. And so that's why XRP, I feel like it was targeted by these people where it's too useful. And so they have to slow it down by, distracting you with Ethereum for 4 or 5 years, right? Oh, Ethereum, this. And then they elevate, Vitalik, putting him on the news and all that stuff. Again, this is the trick that they do to distract you from the real thing. And meanwhile, when you have the real thing, you're not really doing anything much, and the price was suppressed in that sense. And again, this is where I see the similarity, you guys, of GME and XRP. But XRP has been fighting the SEC longer than GME, in my opinion, anyway. So you could look at the back history of where the pain point was for the XRP ledger. And then being sued by Jay Clayton on his way out. That was also unfair too, right? And I wonder how many of those FUD people, right? I see the similarity here, which is, it's a shit coin, it's a stable coin, it doesn't do anything. Look, Ethereum is doing this. 10,000x, all of that, right? In the meantime, you have people who are getting into the NFT at the time, right? NFT marketplace, trading whatever those kiddie game is at the time. I forgot. But anyway, so a lot of value is being sucked away from XRP, right? And XRP was not able to participate at, any rally and all that stuff. You see the price action, obviously. But again, in the meantime, there's a lot of people who are actually using the technology and know the value someday is going to be big. Right? And so, and at the time, I was accumulating XRP as well, but not as much because I didn't have the money as much as I have today. Didn't work at the time. So, $5 here and there, $25 here and there. But even then, 5% of that was a fee. But in the early time, obviously, if you want the real token on the real blockchain, somebody was selling it to you at a cost. But it turns out, like, if you are long-term investing, obviously I was believing in the long-term longevity of the chain, and I know that one day somebody's gonna agree with me. But right now I'm just an oddball out. So when people agree with you, this is what happened. When and again, the value is still there. I don't know how high it's going to be, but from my speculation of this particular technology, it's not to be ignored. Okay, because transaction is trillions of dollars, you guys. Has to move every single second of the day. And there are, like if you listen to their conference, anytime they have conferences, they do that every year. Ripple app is one of the company that is using the XRP ledger to facilitate that. So right now they're just focusing on, bank to bank transfers and remittance and, all of that. But the ledger itself could be built into anything like NFT marketplace. Technically GME could build on the XRP ledger as well with a cheaper, faster than Ethereum based. Not to say that Ethereum is obsolete or anything like that. I'm sure it's useful for something. But, the markets will decide for sure. Right now, it's more like, okay, whatever Bitcoin is doing, the other currency is going to follow. Right? Because there's no real world utility to even, factor in. Right? And so now, when XRP come to a level playing field, then now I think some of the chain is going to fall off, And then, because Ethereum has been experiencing a lot of growth lately, I feel like they're not able to scale anymore. Okay, so it's gonna fall. I'm not saying the price gonna fall tomorrow or anything like that. I'm saying that the market's gonna start slowly realizing, okay, why am I using Ethereum and have to pay $50 per transaction when I could use XRP for a fraction of that? And any banks, who doing business know that. And I really think this is why this is why XRP ledger was suppressed to this point, because they want you not to own it. They want to accumulate. Who's they? The people that doing transaction. Who's doing the transaction? Banks. I mean, so again, this is what I realized before that. It's like, okay, these people are just, again, they're trying to eliminate their competition here, because if people know what XRP Ledger could do, they would build on it. They wouldn't be building on Ethereum. But again, I think early on in XRP Ledger, though, I feel like they were not seeing the smart contract aspect of it. They didn't see the value there. And I think that's the fault of the XRP Ledger people, right? People who build the ledger. Because it's end up being useful, like, the smart contract and all that stuff, because you could really technically program your money to do whatever. And that's, again, could be a slippery slope, right? If it's not being taken care of. And the next generation, you guys, is going to be crazy about transactions. So everything could be automated and mindlessly, right? So you have to be informed about what you get yourself into. And so it's two things, right? I think it's going to foster a lot of, like, you have to be knowledgeable before you get into it, right? Well, it's good and bad. Obviously, any type of change in that new industry, any trend, any transition into something new, could be painful sometimes for the old system. And so, but yeah, buckle up. And I really think this is why Trump is embracing Bitcoin, the second term. And there's an interview that I saw that really tells you why. Because, again, the freedom to transact is very important, you guys. And if any of these bad actors who get control over the network, can stop you from transacting, law-abiding citizen here, okay? Or use that authority to block your transaction, then there's no free society at all. Because guess what? Here, let me play this one now. I'm not going to play the whole thing. But in this particular part, she was describing how the banking system was kind of used to weaponize against anyone who they don't agree with, politically, like, politicize in that sense. So this part is crazy. So I will be back.
A time around digital assets knew that people were being debanked. We knew that the FDIC had taken a pause after being told in 2019 to stop discriminating against digital asset businesses. They settled a lawsuit. They said we won't do it again in 2019. And then, of course, when the Biden administration got back in, the Biden White House and Marty Greenberg over at the FDIC started right back at it, placing a pause on banks that wanted to engage in digital assets. The same thing was occurring at the Fed. The Fed's bank supervision function was being used to make sure that anybody who was trying to get a bank account for a digital asset business, or banks that wanted to engage in banking companies that dealt in digital assets, the banks were assassinated and the customers were debanked. And it was in massive numbers. And then they were also attacking their political enemies. Melania Trump was debanked. She was at Signature Bank. The Winklevosses were debanked. They were at Signature. So Gemini was debanked. And the list goes on and on. They literally assassinated a bank called Silvergate that was banking digital assets. That bank was solvent. It was never insolvent. When a run was started on that bank that was caused by that Silicon Valley Bank debacle, they fulfilled every single request to have their deposits returned. That bank was never insolvent. The federal government assassinated that bank. So it just created this giant freeze for this industry that it was caused by the government. Absolutely sinister behavior by the government. So we're having hearings now. We've had one in the Senate Banking Committee, and then the Digital Asset Committee is going to do a series of hearings that are specifically focused on debanking of the digital asset community. We've got to expose this so it doesn't happen again. And then pass statutes that will prevent it from happening again.
See, like, this is where I'm like, where are those Democrats? And again, I'm not targeting just Democrats here. Where is the outrage then about how, individual citizen like Melania, like, has some, clout? Yes, she's attached to the Trump, right? But she is a law-abiding citizen. Like, okay, you could go after Trump. Great. I mean, if he's criminal or whatever, right? But Melania can't even open a bank account. It's bad. If a billionaires who have some, some sort of connection couldn't do it because of some federal things, that is happening, and it's literally being targeted because they want to silence somebody. And that's bad. This is not how democratic government should be doing, right? But on the surface, obviously, people are like, well, yeah, we're free to do whatever. Well, you're free if you agree with them. But if you don't agree with them, you're not free. And so that's not a good thing for the Democrats. I mean, for the democratic society. Because you are not free to express your opinion. If you express your opinion, your bank account would be blocked. And so naturally, people are going to be keeping their mouth shut. They're not going to say anything because, well, my bank account, my life's going to be a living hell. So that's a form of suppression, right? And so that's not the society anyone should be fostering, in my opinion. And so we have to fight for the digital freedom of, transacting freely without anyone, including the federal government, unless, they could prove that you're doing some crime, then yes. But then that's where the due process is coming in. That's every single rights that we have as a, law-abiding citizen until they could prove that we're guilty. Then, okay, take my transition right away, right? Or transaction rights away. That's, you have the trial. If the jury comes out and say, yeah, okay, I agree with the, evidence and all that stuff. Again, it becomes they become so lazy nowadays. It seems like, because we have this power now, why would we, do process anymore? So, And it's bad, you guys. Like, corruption is everywhere. And so when people are not paying attention to the politics, I know it's boring. I get it. But it affects your life too. And the next generation. Because the next generation, don't have any voice right now. Okay? I mean, look at a lot of senators and, congresswomen. They've been there for 70 years. 60 years, 50 years. Like, I mean, come on. So, the voice of the younger generation hasn't been heard. And we've been kind of bombarded with all of the bullshit that's happening right now, inflations and, inability to even own a home. Not only for Gen X, millennial, or even the boomers. Some of the boomers, they don't even own a home. Like, I know many who just, I mean, you could say, well, it's their fault and whatever, right? Because they're not aware of the financial aspect of things. Like, oh, you should have saved and all that stuff. But again, it's a whole system over here that we need to at least revamp. And then I'm all for auditing these people because they're there to be public servant. Okay. And they say it. They say it in them, just paying lip service. That's it. They're not actually doing it behind closed door. So now Trump is doing something and they're up in arms about it. And they're trying to rally people to be like, oh, this billionaires is taking over the country or whatever. Well, what have you been doing as a public servant for the last 50 years? You didn't do anything for the American people, right? When we're struggling, nobody really come to rescue us at all. So now you're like screaming your rights being taken away and, trying to rally people to agree with you. It's like, that's why, again, Democratic Party, to the point where Tulsi Gabbard, Robert F. Kennedy, okay. It's like lifelong Democrats here, they can't even, they don't elevate people like that. And had they elevate these two, the Democratic Party would have been saved. But again, they're far gone because they're so corrupt. And the old Republican too, Mitch McConnell, right? He didn't vote for Tulsi Gabbard and who else? Kash Patel or something like that. So crazy, huh? But anyway, so I'm feeling kind of hopeful, for the future because of what's happening right now. I know, sorry, I'm babbling here. Let me go through this real quick. Mimor, do you like XLM, XDC? I don't have XDC, but I do have XLM. I haven't looked into the X. I know it's a whole bunch of tokens that was kind of, ISO or whatever. But yeah, I think the whole space is going to be crazy, you guys. I think XRP is set up to be the thing right now that people are talking about. So I'm glad because, again, to me, this is the technology that will be useful one day. Now, as far as like other coins, obviously they haven't had the same story as XRP. I think XRP has the narrative behind it to be talked about for the next decades or so. And so, this bull run is going to get crazy, in my opinion, because that's the initial, burst of excitement, right? I don't know how high it's going to be, honestly. So if you, have me guess, I have no idea. So I'm just going to hold on to XRP for another 10 years and we'll see how it happens, how it goes. Now I do have the amount that I will be willing to trade in if the price makes sense to me in the next 6 months. Just like how I do it with GME as well. A portion of my GME will never be touched, and a portion of my XRP will never be touched. Currently, I have been accumulating Bitcoin back. So I'm gonna be more methodically in doing that. But again, like, this is just long term. Now, if GME were to buy into Bitcoin, obviously that's going to be a kind of a built-in ETF already. So if you own GME, obviously you're gonna own some cash. You're gonna own, gonna have equity in that company. And if GME were to indeed copy the strategy of MicroStrategy, then, oh, yeah, I think GME is setting up to be a better, not better, obviously, you can own more. MicroStrategy has like, tens of billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin, right? So can we catch up to MicroStrategy? I don't know. Maybe that's a competition for both the company to be in. But man, like, I don't know. I'm excited for sure. If GME were to buy into Bitcoin, that's gonna be crazy. But I'm not gonna believe it until I see it in the earnings report. In which case, it's gonna be a lot more solidified, and I could kind of like speak about it freely and surely, right? Because right now it's just a speculation. Obviously, a picture with Michael Saylor is one confirmation, but that's not real yet. Okay, until it's on paper, then it's more true. Okay. So, I mean, why does it have to be Bitcoin? Or it could be some other digital asset like XRP2, right? Or a basket of digital asset. I mean, we're not foreign to digital asset. We've owned digital asset before, like IMX, right? Loopring and all that stuff too. So we've dabbled into that as a company already. So and then NFT marketplace as well. So we've had all of that kind of set up to take advantage of this, golden age of digital asset here too. But yeah, Bitcoin, it's just one of the biggest one where, people know what it is. While XRP, people are still like, what is XRP? What does it do? So the rest of the world hasn't even noticed it. Right? So if you own XRP, obviously you're the top 1% here, it's seemingly, right? Hopefully you have the ability to accumulate a lot more by that time. It's all about, getting people to agree with you. If you hold some asset that people are not agreeing with you, you would, again, the price action is not going to give you that. And that's why I'm saying you are early into GME right now. And people are not understanding it, right? Because again, they're being told, oh, Jimmy, it's supposed to be this by now, this by now, this by now. No, it needs some time to even get to that point, right? I mean, think about how many years that Bitcoin was able to convince people that it's something of value, right? So you need people to agree with you. Right now, think about this. Okay, right now. Sentiment-wise, like retail sentiment, I'm talking about like the regular retail investor or even the conventional institutional investor. When you talk about GME, are they negative about it or positive about it? If they're positive about it, usually they're like, you and I. Yes, there are some institutions that are, quietly accumulating, but they're not necessarily going on TV to tell you that. They're not going to bring anyone that agree with that narrative on TV. No wonder if you were to go to the street right now, ask people, what do you know about GameStop? Nobody knows. No one knows. So you're early. You're very early into this play. And so I would wager at least 70% of people are still in the dark about GME right now. And even if they own it, they're just owning it based on, MOAS. So if you were to take away from that population too, the people that are actually holding on to this because of the right reason, diamond handers and all that stuff. I'm a hybrid, obviously. So there's a portion that I'm diamond handing and there's a portion that I'm going to sell, right? But anyway, and so if you were to look into the portion in which people are, diamond handing this and know the longevity of this company building and slowly, that portion, I think it's still like at least 10%. Or even the top 1% of the population here, okay? So perhaps you're still the top 1% that really know what this company is about to do, right? But that's going to be a growing pain still, right? Because you might not see the price doing what you do because the rest of the world has to agree with you. And, the institutional investor has to agree with you too. And again, this is why I think Ryan Cohen only focused on what is important for those, people on the top to realize, hey, you're missing out on GME. It's like if you don't buy GME for your pension, you're not going to survive because GME is about to do something. Okay, it's about to put a dent into the universe type thing, I know, I'm hyped. Sorry. I'm stealing, what is it? XRP leadership. That's what they're doing. And again, like these two assets, obviously I've been following quite a bit. So I have an edge on that because knowing these things ahead of time. And that's what investing is all about, you guys. Like when you're trying to invest into something, you better know a lot about that particular thing to the point where you have to be obsessed about it because that's your future right there, and it's okay to be obsessed about a certain investment because you don't want to be wrong, right? And yes, I'm optimistic about this company, GME. Yes, I'm optimistic about XRP, but I don't want to be wrong either because I've been here for a long time. So, yeah, any disagreement and all that stuff, it's welcomed. Any stupidity that they're trying to tell me about other company better than GameStop, I'm skeptical about that. And so you have to have some tool, in your investing career, so to speak, to be able to kind of discern, okay, this is bullshit. Okay, this might have something. Okay, this is, much better, standpoint to stand on. Reality, based type thing. So, because I can. The only real true bank shutting down was Peter Schiff Bank. Okay. This is sued by the IRS. Okay. The media made up fake news. Be more should look into it. Oh, okay. Peter Schiff Bank. Yeah, I might look into that. I've heard about Peter Schiff though, and he had some offshore account or something like that. That's what I heard. But he was he always come out and publicly said that Bitcoin is a scam and all that stuff too. So He's a gold guy for sure, like physical gold, owning gold and all that stuff. So that's what I know about him. Peter Bank was a true bank without. Okay. Well, maybe that's why, because he is more like gold backed type of things, right? They don't want that type of bank to put on notice, because like the whole banking system is crazy, you guys. Like I just recently watched a video about how the banks create mortgage is a fraudulent loan, because they don't actually have the loan. They don't actually have the money. It's pretty complicated, but it's just like a fraudulent type of loan where they don't have the value to back it up. They just like create it out of thin air. It's almost like naked shorting, right? It's like they take your money, but then they don't give you back the share, something of value. So how many trillions and gazillions of dollars are out there that are like that, where there is an agreement to pay it back? Yeah, it's so complicated. I'll have to look into that one. Let's see. I had a dream next week. It's kind of, yeah, weird, because I wasn't even thinking about GameStop yesterday. Okay. How high was it in the dream? In after hours. Okay. 50. Damn. See, this is why people think we're in a cult, right? Because like to the point where we're dreaming about it going higher. That's okay. So $200. Okay. It's going to need to get past. Okay, 1,500 per share. Hey, Alana, what's up? 1 a.m. All right, well, go back to sleep. Be more. We need a picture of Ryan Cohen and Brad Garlinghouse at Mark. I know, right? That would be amazing. But again, like they are in the same circle, right? And billionaires usually they network themselves too. They have their own network of people, and I really think Ryan Cohen's don't usually show his networking unless I'm sure of the people that are actually trying to innovate in this space, whether it's through transaction or some companies that needs to be revitalized so that it's more honest actors out there. What I wanted to see is the IEX exchange to be elevated, more so than this type of exchange where they have cornered the market so much that retail investors are at a disadvantage here. And so that's why it's so important to elevate the right person here, to be in power, so that things like this don't happen ever again, just like what Loomis was saying in this interview right here. And of course we need a member of Congress to stand up for when they see stuff like that, to cause alarm, rather than trying to pin us against each other, red and blue and all that, vote blue no matter who, and Republican just stay loyal to their Republican Party no matter what happened. No, we have to become like more aware of that too, where don't worry about the blue or red. Like, look into the people that you are voting for. What are their policy? More of like that, where, okay, no matter what, you're Americans, right? No matter what, you're living in this country. And so, we have the duty here to at least keep these people out. But again, you have the democratic process and all that stuff. So thankfully, you still have that going on. And I think like Trump's really, leaning into the digital aspect of thing, and this is what he won a lot of young people's vote, is because you see that Bitcoin is a freedom, type of thing where, you have the ability to transact without permission from the government to do so. And so if you have this, guardrail and, to keep bad people away, technically, if bad people were to have a hold of that instrument, they could keep good people away as well. And so we have to be careful on that. So yeah, it's complicated, you guys. Like, I don't think it's going to be fixed in 1 year, 2 years, or one term here. And so it's pretty scary. I'm not going to lie. What the transition's going to be. But I hope for the best. Obviously, it's in God's hand. So let go and let God, right? But anyway, so where was I? Goodness. I'm telling you guys, I have like 3 hours to kill, so it's been 2 already. But I really think that my energy level only lasts for 2 hours, you guys. Like, I've been continuously speaking. That's crazy, huh? Anyway, so what do I need to talk about? Yeah, go back to XRP. Of course, XRP, obviously, they have the real USD here. The chain is apparently is being used. And so more and more onboarding is going to happen from now on. I feel like all the banks now feel like, hey, okay, we could custody this and they've been ready, you guys. Like, Bank of America CEO said like, okay, when the regulation is clear, we're all ready. We're ready to rock and roll type thing. So they've been paying attention, you guys. Like, and of course, they've been distracting us too on everything from the shitcoin and the Shiba Inu and all of that. All distraction noise, you guys. And so that way they could accumulate asset like this, okay, XRP on the ledger. And never before when, I wouldn't be able to accumulate XRP at this price. No one can participate it in the traditional market structure, because traditionally, and again, this is where I feel like the sect was created to keep people poorer. The poor, and the people that has, money, liquid money, could get richer, to safeguard those people, right? And so when you bar somebody from participating in these type of asset, when you could turn $1,000 into $1 million in 10 years or 20 years, that's gonna, take people out of poverty. And so the SEC was like, well, we can't have that, right? So let's make some rule. You have to have $1 million in a liquid asset, liquid, not including your house, in order to buy into a security, right? That's why they have the security law that they have. And any companies out there, they can't even raise money from the public unless they are accredited investor, right? And so only rich people gets to participate in companies like this, right? And so blockchain really democratized that. It's like, okay, if you want to buy into Shiba Inu or Doge and all that stuff, and you think you're going to make money on it, why not? And you have the ability to kind of come up with your own freer way to express that. So whether it's only $1, if you have money or not, that's on you, right? I mean, that's a double-edged sword too, but that's how you learn. You learn through experience, you learn through loss, you learn through failure. So failure shouldn't be safeguarded like that. But I really think that the reason why they put that accredited investor thing is to bar regular people from finding out, companies like this where it exists in the private sector. Because yes, if you're wrong, you're still poor, right? But if you're right, you might be out of poverty, and they can't have that. They need most people to be poor so that they could, it's easier to control that way, the population. So I hope there's no more of that happening. That people are free to choose whatever they are investing in. Okay, if GME is the thing that will make people think, that is going to bring that financial freedom, then why not? We have the right to do that. Now, I mean, GME is a better opportunity for the rest of us here because of Ryan Cohen and all that stuff, right? Getting into the company. But with blockchain, though, this is like a different type of technology that would have been only allowed by, the accredited investor. But since, it was unregulated and it was traded freely on the market, I was able to accumulate it as well. So, yeah, I think blockchain has its own pro here. Yes, you could lose a lot if you pick the wrong security or the wrong commodity here. But yeah, it's remained to be seen, you guys. So let's kind of wait, okay, for that to be law first, right? And so this is why I only focus on this type of chain, because at least it has some utility and the ability to be used in the real world. Memes, yes, I mean, it could be useful for something, but again, that is only kind of predicated on whether it is a collectible of some sorts, right? So the law has to be clear about that. Is it going to be security? Can it be used in some way to kind of entice fans? If let's say Ryan Cohen, okay, he has a meme coin somewhere, because people enthusiastic about him, they buy Ryan Cohen meme coin. Is that going to be a security? Or just a collectible, a memorabilia of some sort? So I want Ryan Cohen meme coin. Something like that, right? But I don't know. To me, meme coins is just a distraction. Well, these type of things are going to kind of facilitate the transaction. So if you are a middleman, obviously you're gonna stand to gain. And businesses could really build on this so that they could plug into the global liquidity here too. It's massive, you guys. I don't know how to explain it at this moment in time, because you have to go and do your own research, honestly, if you want to kind of get involved in this. And again, I'm not saying that tomorrow is going to be like $100 here. It might take time before people really understand what this is. And, a lot of education needs to come to this space. And even like Senator Lumen over here too, she, I think it's earlier when she was saying about how, even the legislation, the people who are in charge of making policy, they don't really understand what digital asset means or what it does and all that stuff. So that's going to be, slow as the process go. And this is why you need a lot of younger people to come into the lawmaking, space, politician or whatever, to try to at least make the process going quicker, because they understand what what digital asset is. And I think this is where Brad Garlinghouse is important. And, you know, at least talk to the Trump administration and all that stuff to at least guide, you know, the administration to understand the value that could be unlocked here. It's pretty smart. I know, like, people are going to be like, well, all these people are billionaires and they're scammers and all that stuff, right? That's just fear-based, you guys. Really fearful things that Democrats doing well, pretty much, to try to kind of dampen innovation so that regular people feel confused about this type of, technology that will become somewhat useful for society in some way. And so in turn, you know, people who naturally hate on Trump will not be able to be free to think, because now, you know, they have to, work within the suppressed system of control. And so now whether this is to, again, keep people who hate Trump poor, then, have some economic ladder. But again, like, that's on you, right? If you hate Trump, obviously you're going to think that Bitcoin is a scam. You're going to think that XRP is a scam. And then you're not going to be like, well, I don't want to invest in a scammy thing, right? Without even looking into the technology itself. Like, XRP exists before Trump even become a president here. Has nothing to do with Trump, but again, the news media use your emotion about, or at least, I guess your emotion, against you. And like I said, if you hate Trump and not knowing anything about XRP, you're not going to look into XRP, or even Bitcoin. But yeah, I mean, in due time, people are going to realize what it is, and then they're going to pay, $100 for XRP instead of $2, right? Same way. People don't want it when it was 15 cents, right? 7 years ago. It's shit, right? And then when it goes higher, higher, and higher, then they would love to buy it at a high. It's like, oh, it's going to go up. So this is the prediction of people, obviously. If these banks are onboarded over time, of course, I don't know. Again, depends, right? How many banks are initially going to keep this ledger? Because again, if it's useful, right, everybody's going to need it. And these are institutions. So, but again, it might need to prove its usefulness for another 5 years, for another cycle, who knows, right? In order to be like, okay, now we have 1,000 banks has been transacting on this ledger for 4 years now. Nothing's happening. Everything is going smoothly, faster, cheaper, So now we're looking to opening up to businesses, small businesses. Okay, so it's like the business who do transaction on the blockchain is going to do well, And GME could really set up for that too, where we understand the transaction. We've done the blockchain transaction already. So if you solve that pain point, I think you're going to be able to do that. Like smarter people, right? Technological point of control here. But business is going to be so like financial, like it's going to be disrupted. I think the banks will become so obsolete if they're not set up for this. And hopefully, less of fraud and abuse too, because XRP is like instant settlement, you guys. Like, this is the point that we're kind of missing out on why GME. I mean, the relationship between the naked shorts and all that stuff, right? And so if you could do an instant settlement, technically you wouldn't be able to naked short anything because every single transaction is finalized. And so if you buy into XRP, if you buy into any, platform that is built on XRP ledger, every transaction is final. And so if it's programmed to be like, okay, if the price reached this much, you're going to have to be liquidated, then whatever collateral that you have to use to short, which happened, right? Then that collateral is going to be sold into the market and buy the thing that you're shorting. That's what we're dealing with here, because we have an entity right now on the stock market that is the arbiter of that, okay? That prevents a certain things from happening in order to keep themselves afloat. While blockchain, you cannot do that. Every contract, investment contract or whatever, smart contract, that's where smart contract happens. Or comes in, sorry. When you program it to be that way, then it's law, right? No human being could intervene that, except when you enter to that contract, you already agree to that agreement. You want to short, GME, right? You need collateral to do that. Whether collateral is in form of the money that you have to short it, or collateral based on, let's say you use Bitcoin to short GME. Then you have to sell Bitcoin to buy GME. Simple. If GME hits a certain price level, right? So the liquidation will happen on chain automatically. See, this is why you see this wig on Bitcoin. Let's see. And again, people don't realize this. It's like Bitcoin also have a future. Okay. Like futures, I mean like contracts, okay? People bet up and down, shorting, betting up and all that stuff. And every time it gets liquidating, sorry, hold on 1 second. What is going on with my computer? Sorry, you guys. I am babbling on, but I hope you understand what I'm trying to say here. So a lot of time, order books are being seen online, right? Yes, market makers will take advantage of those, right? Of course, unexpected people who are just gambling, who thinks that they're gonna just over leveraging themselves, like, okay, I have $1,000. I want to, leverage it up to 10x or whatever. So for every, 1% move, I'm gonna get 10%, gain type thing, right? And so when the market maker sees this, they're gonna take advantage of it. They know the order book, they know what price it needs to come down to in order to liquidate these people. Okay? So the same way with option, like put option, call options, the same exact thing. It's just that these things, like if you're not careful, right? You think that, oh, I'm smart. And, a lot of people think that they're smarter than the institution here, right? And so what happened when they're like, oh, there's some dumbasses over there who thinks that, over bullish on Bitcoin here. Right here, it's like, oh, it has to go up. Look, it's above $100,000. And then, right, they just dump it real quick into the market to cause that, initial shock. And then just, drop it like a rock real quick. And this action over here is just liquidation. It's like people liquidating, Xing out of their positions, and losing everything. And then after they lose everything, market maker bought it back right here, right down. So they short up here, they buy it back over here. And then it happens on XRP2. I got in right here, like even more egregious for XRP. And again, yes, XRP have they have XRP everything you could trade on leverage on the blockchain, and there are stupid people who do it, right? And so that's why, you know, day traders usually lose money because they don't account for these type of thing, right? They're not prepared for it. And so a lot of liquidation. It's like, okay, you think that XRP is going to go higher from here? You bet, you know, 10x your leverage, the amount of money you have. Boom. Because that initial, right here, that initial dump, it's just to scare people, you see? And then they dump another time. Like this is a 4 hours, okay? And there you go. That's market maker right there. So that they could cause the liquidation. And then the minute, and of course, like some of that people are scared too, right? A lot of fear in the market. They're gonna be like, oh my God, look at the candle. And then what happened? The minute it gets to here, it just V-shape, right? So this V-shape here is either institution, you know, people who have money on the side was like, hey, this is cheap. So they just start buying it like crazy again. So, again, this is the trick that market maker does in order to liquidate the people that are trading on leverage, borrowed money. Okay. So when you borrowed money, you know, you used to have like 10,000 coin and you're trying to leverage it up to, you know, 1 million coin. But the minute it goes against you just 1%, you lose everything. You lose that 10,000 coins that you have. Yeah. So it's unfortunate, right? Yes, you could buy it back, obviously, if you have the money, but usually people who gamble, they lose it all. How can they participate in this thing? So how do you win? Well, the way that you win, simple, you know, keep it simple, stupid type thing. Buy whenever you can. Wait for the technology to do what you think it's going to do in an extended period of time. Very simple. That's a joke of meme coin. Meme coin, the CC, yep, rug pull, yep. A lot of institution at UBS, BlackRock, yeah. Something big is cooking. Yeah, I know, like, it's exciting for sure, you know, on the digital aspect of thing. I think people are not going to understand why certain thing moves the same. But I think you really have to be knowledgeable about, you know, the next shake up here. If everything were to be tokenized on the blockchain, as the BlackRock CEO was talking about, Larry Fink, right? Talking about the tokenization all of a sudden, right? 10 years ago, Bart Gallinghouse, even the XRP folks, you know, Ripple Labs has been talking about tokenization all the time. Way before, you know, Larry Fink to ever come in public to do that. But again, it takes time to convince people. Like I said, you know, those big institutions, you know, they're moving so slow, very slow. And the point is, you know, if you know that and you are investing in something that is, you know, that the institution hasn't caught on to it, that's when you massively could get the gain that people are talking about, like, you know, 10x, 30x your money in an instant. But again, you have to wait for that to happen. You know, the inflection point here, that eventually, okay, you cross that S curve thing that they talk about, where you hit the point of no return type thing. And you see it in Palantir chart, right? At some point, people are going to be like, "Oh shit, I'm going to miss out if I don't get into this company right now." And then, if the massive amount of money coming in because of the whales out there, 100 million, 200 million, 300 million, right? Pouring into your company at one time, of course, the price action is going to be crazy. And then on top of that, you have day traders who've seen the momentum and they just add on to the fuel too. So that's why you see crazy price action. That makes no sense. And then eventually it's going to be overinflated to the point where, okay, if you don't sell right now, you're stupid type thing, right? So, but they've been kind of like conditioning us to do that already, where, how many people are actually going to hold forever until the end of time? So only time could tell. I'm just gonna, stay put and see what happens. Now you have David Sachs, obviously. Trump crypto czar will announce Bitcoin and altcoin strategy reserve. Okay, that's cool. Now this guy, David Sachs, I know from interviews and, this is before he became crypto czar. He was talking about investing in Solana. So Solana might be, again, preferential treatment here, perhaps. Again, because, he's next to the president here. So obviously, Sol is going to also be a good one. So I have accumulated this recently. So Ethereum, I'm not gonna touch, honestly, because I think they're pretty overbought in this and overhyped to the point where I don't think eventually people are gonna realize Ethereum is just too slow. Okay. Let's see. Can't stop like that. And again, this is very...
Another one you like is Ripple.
Sorry. Once again, let me set this video up here. This was said a long, 3 weeks ago or something. It wasn't today or anything, but I think it's worth listening to. And it's very bullish, obviously.
Another one you like is Ripple. You said it is the coin to be looking at right now.
Absolutely.
Why?
Okay, so Ripple actually was the second largest coin prior to the SEC's investigation of them. They did this really weird lawsuit against them, and basically the Ripple is going to be the track that everything's going to be running on in the future. So they created their own stable coin right now.
Okay.
And Bank of America, like I said, they were doing 100% of their internal transactions. They've got 83 different patents on it, and there's some incredible stuff that's going to be coming out. So
another one you like is Ripple. You said it is the...
Oops. So that's exciting. Now, okay, I disagree with this. I don't think it's gonna be like $60,000 a coin. That'd be crazy, right? I'll be the top. I'll be the top 1% if that's not the case. But well, a lot of people would be, right? I mean, what, quadrillions of dollars, right? It needs to be. So let's see. She claims that March 10th, but they already pushed it to July or something. July 10th. That's just the messaging thing that she was talking about, like messaging, bank messaging system has to agree with each other so that the whole global, economy could, the whole global banks, they speak the same language. So we'll see.
Time is here. I hope you're still holding. Remember, March 10th, all banks in America must be in compliance. All banks in America on March 10th must be in compliance. It's already started. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just using common sense. reading the white paper and following the roadmap and watching what's happening. Not watching what's trending here on social media, knowing and understanding what's really, truly taken place. Do your homework, guys. Really pay attention. So much is happening. Can't even keep up, can you? I can't. It's not enough time in the day. But listen, pay attention. I'm holding. Because March 10th, it's here, right around the corner. And look what just came out yesterday. Today is January 31st, 2025. I've been in since 2017, and I can say one thing right now, is XRP. It's time. It's not too late. Join the team.
That's crazy. She's way too excited. Again, I don't think it's going to be like March 10 or even, wherever they extend to July something. It's not going to be like a snap of a finger and then 10,000. But I think this is over the course of time when the XRP ledger really proved to people, okay, very useful, safe. We've been transacting for what? I don't know, 10 years. Nothing's, no hacks and, no problems. No congesting of the network, jamming it. No one, right? But I really think we're going to flip Ethereum, that's for sure, for XRP people. And yeah, it's exciting. And of course, people are predicting the cycle, where it's at. And seemingly, crypto follow a lot of technical. Technical analysis works on crypto much better than the stock market. And I really think that that's a testament of the true demand and supply. Yes, there are some manipulation here and there. You see the wick down and then the V-shape recovering real quick. Flash boy or whatever. If you've heard of that documentation, like Google Flash boy, you would understand why this thing is happening. It's predatory for sure, but they use publicly available data to do so. And so again, this is why when you trade on leverage, borrowed money, and all that stuff, you could really lose a lot of money. Stop it, And if you want to trade in and out, unless you are a professional, don't do it. If you believe in a network or a company or any security that you're picking, do it slowly. Buy whenever you can, and try to, again, if you try to time the dip, obviously, yeah. That's why I only train myself to buy in the red days. If it's 10% down, I'm happy. If it's even 10%, 20% down in a day, I'm happy, And so if I have some money left, obviously, I'm going to buy it like that. So consistently, the key is the consistency, you guys. So, okay, this guy. But yeah, so it seems official. Nothing much. Just have to wait. In the short term, right? People are, kind of predicting the price. Of course, they're going by the 4-year cycle, which I agree with as well. What is going on with my computer, you guys? I have no idea. Okay, I think I am pooped out, you guys. But yeah, keep an eye on everything. I'm excited for GME as well. Excited for everything that I own. I feel I feel good about it. Naturally, because I'm biased, right? So be careful, when I talk about GME, usually, due to my own lens of seeing things, my own, interpretation here, based on what I know, about the markets, the structure, and on top of that, the sentiment on the company itself. Yes, short-term price action, I don't know what's going to happen. But as long as you're consistent, in your investment, high conviction is needed, obviously. If you don't have the conviction, stay out, And if you invest because of MOAS, I highly suggest you might have to rethink that because it may not happen. What if MOAS doesn't happen? Ever? What happened? Will you hold or you just sell out right now? Right? And so know what you hold. Know how to evaluate the value that you hold for GameStop right now. Okay? Is this overpriced? Severely overpriced? I don't think so. It's just the beginning, right? Like I said, if GME were to IPO today, would the bank sell it to you at $27 right now? I doubt it. So, yeah. Stay vigilant. Stay cool. I know everybody's quiet right now. So I'm just going to let you go. Today. All right. I will see you when I see you. Thank you so much for joining.